Very strong, the most consistent deck in the metagame. But once again, we see the battle of the Titans, not only in players, in intellect, but also in the two best decks in the metagame currently, which happen to be Spell Mage and the Libram Secret Paladin.
And we just saw this game, and it didn't take very long, because the Mage drew the things.
Yep.
So maybe we get a longer look at what is possible this time if lnguagehackr doesn't draw the things.
Well, he drew the Incanter's Flow, so that's step one of the Spell Mage Exodia. I don't know.
But Killin's got all the steps necessary for his deck to do a thing too. He's got Eldor, he's going to reduce the Librams, he's got the Librams, he can rip the secrets out of his deck. Oh, this could get pretty nice for Killin pretty quickly.
Yeah, he even drew the Libram of Justice, which may look not great, but it means that with this Eldor Attendant played, he can still play Kazakus on curve, because that would be the only 4-mana card in this deck that would be blocking Kazakus. So, small upside to a very bad card to have in the mulligan is if he does draw Kazakus, he will be able to play it on curve.
Wasn't tempted there to... I think he was tempted, but only very, very briefly, because Hacker kept a card, he could have coined out the sword and tried to hit the Yogg. To cause some disruption there, but it was only a 1 in 3 chance, so there's not really any point in ruining your curve for that, I don't think.
Yeah. It's funny, there's always that I'm sure anybody who's been playing against Spell Mage at home will understand this, that nod of acknowledgement when you see them keep a card, you see them mouse over a card in their hand on turn 2. Yeah. That little, like, your heart skips a beat when you see it played, but then you give that sigh of relief and that nod when you see that it's Incanter's Flow, which is still an absolutely insane card. One of the highest win rate cards been kept in the mulligan of all time of any deck in the history of Hearthstone, and you feel relief when it's played on turn 2. Imagine. Sorry.
Yeah, that's actually ridiculous, isn't it? It's like, yes, it's only the second best card in the whole metagame.
It's actually going to happen. He got the Kazakus. But he can't play the Eldor Trueseeker before the Kazakus. He needs to play the Kazakus first. Because as soon as he plays Eldor Trueseeker, then his Libram of Judgment costs 4, and Kazakus is no longer active.
Good point, well made.
Yeah.
I learned something in this match. Well, the Omar Yogg has absolutely ruined Hacker, and it's going to ruin him again, most likely.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's a 3/3.
That'll do. That will do. And Killin is now going to be able to show how weird game Hearthstone is. Because on turn 4 last match, Tincho conceded. And here's Killin in a totally different position, going pretty well.
Is he going to coin it out? Yeah, he's going to coin it out. See, this is why I'm not a fan of the Kazakus.
It's offering good moral.
I mean, this is still an insane turn. And I'd probably do this over Carrier Rome anyway. But now he's not going to have an option to play Kazakus for value until he draws the Libram of Judgment. So I know we're beating the dead horse here, but the
horse is the secret.
How many times it happens? lnguagehackr really needs some help. He needs refreshing spring waters or some spell damage for this cram session stat. I honestly wouldn't even be surprised if he just cycles this cram session right now. You can also devolving missiles because there is a Libra of Wisdom that's been played, but it's not reducing the power as much as you'd like for devolving missiles to do. It's got it was the next card. If he just waited.
Oh my.
This is not what we stood for.
Hacker experienced enough to see the funny side there.
There we go. I wonder, though, if you just rip Mask of Cthulhu here, because against Libram Paladin specifically, it doesn't get much... I guess it can get better than this. There's 6 health on board, so it's not that likely that you clear it off, but... I guess with devolving missiles in hand, that changes things.
I mean, the missiles are just good here. They get rid of so much quality. It's not the numbers they're going to reduce much. They're just getting rid of such quality of card.
Yeah.
Do you think Hacker places that trophy there every time he comes on stream, or do you think the trophy's always there?
It's just always there. Ooh!
The card.
I mean,
Time runs out on me.
Yeah, I mean, he made the decision 20 seconds ago. He's just trying to work out why it would ever be wrong.
flurry might be necessary. Nah.
Yeah, that was the thought process, exactly to the letter. Maybe, but nah.
Maybe I could pick flurry, and then he's going to go huge with Libra of Hope. I can freeze him, buy myself a turn, or
If he ropes enough times, he could get promoted to European Grandmaster.
yeah. So he did play one Enchanter's Flow before he played that Deck of Lunacy. He only plays 3 7-drops, so, and 2 of them are in hand with Mask of Cthulhu and Flame Strike. So the one last Mask of Cthulhu that was in hand has now turned into a Libra of Hope. So it's the only 9-mana spell. He's got both of Pex's Blasts, so those are discounted 4. So now those are 7-mana spells. So those could now be Flame Strikes and Mask of Cthulhu, and Mask of Cthulhu. So, I mean, that's if Language Hacker doesn't just die.
Yeah, he's going to die. I think that's the option here. I think he just dies.
I will crush your
Nope. Finds a spell damage here to play. Can Flame Strike, and now the Moon Touched Amulet. Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Yes.
Is corrupted and can now gain some armor. Language Hacker. I don't think it's really necessary to cash in right now.
Interesting. Because it might be. Is he one off here? I feel like he's one off. Yep.
Yeah.
8.
10 Flinger. Yeah, but then he'd get rid of his 5/2. So. his,
Yeah, you don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you make a golem and look for a good one that will stick next turn, but you might look for a 1. I think you take a 5. It's not straightforward. Rush. Copy. Horse.
All right. Labor of Hope! Oh my god! There was one, because there was one 7-mana minion, or 7-mana spell left. That was a 1 in 17 to draw the only Labor of Hope in his deck. And it's literally right on time. That's insane.
Yeah, he's
I wonder.
quite excited, is Hacker.
Yep.
Getting himself back together, though. Winner of this one plays Dreadeye tomorrow, by the way. Excuse me.
All right, now we're kind of back to the drawing board for Killing here. I just don't know if he gets there.
Well, you can fling off the Divine Shield and rush in with one of your golems, hit the other one, hit your face into the 8/8. It keeps a 5/5 up there.
Let me think.
But did he get copy? I mean, he could also...
It was offered, yeah.
Alternatively, he could give up the 5 attack weapon now, just Penflinger, Libra of Justice, Penflinger Revenge. If he would attack into the 8/8 anyway, he might as well do this.
Yep.
Because this lets him actually get the double 5/5s down. And
Sets
again,
up lethal.
sets up a lethal. Until Deck of Lunacy, Hand of Gul'dan.
Oh, he's got the amulet as well, so...
Yeah, so an extra 6 armor banked. Yeah, let's do that.
3-mana draw.
Backfire, Totemic Reflection, Scrap Shot. No, thank you. Actually, Backfire's sick. It's 0 mana, draw 3. I mean, you take damage, but who cares, really? Mirror Entity, Scrap Shot again, Vivid Spores. Uh-oh. Wait, is he dead? No, he gained 60 goes up.
He's got the amulet. He's got the amulet. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not well.
He's got a double Scrap Shot here, though. Oh, no. Wait.
Now he might be dead.
Runs out on me.
The amazing horse.
So he has to double Scrap Shot and Moon Touch Amulet. Double Scrap Shot one of these 5/5s and Moon Touch Amulet. Trade over. Gain 6, takes 3, so gains 3 is at 11.
And he's alive. 7, 8.
He's alive.
Holy spell.
Libra of Wisdom is close. Night of Anointment I'm starting with because you test
Hand
for...
into something.
Wait, hold on. Sword of the Fallen. There's no secrets left. So, yeah, I'm starting with... Let's see for Ice Barrier.
Grant you peace.
Libra of Hope!
Grant you peace.
So close. So he's going to play the Libram like you'd expect, so he's getting rid of the Divine Shield, easy proc. And setting up, guess what? Lethal damage next turn. Maybe.
Must move quickly.
And each time this is happening, Hacker's got less and less.
Oh,
Well played.
oh jeez.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Mirror Entity, not good. Snap Freeze, good. On the 8/8,
Yep, that
good.
worked.
Deck of Lunacy again, it does nothing. It just re-rolls what was already there, so...
So it does something, but you never know what it did. So it's
It does something, but you literally have no idea. And, yep. What Killen has to do is just attack in.
he doesn't know that, and Hacker hasn't conceded, so he might make a mistake. It's unlikely.
Because that's Mirror Entity and Rigged Fair Game.
Hacker's making him do it because people do. I mean, Killing won't fall for it, but people do mess up here playing around a card that isn't there. Yeah, before you know it, you're trading and you're wondering what you're doing, and suddenly your opponent gets another go and they're bouncing primes. I mean, Killing's never falling for it, but definitely worth the attempt. Yeah, Hacker's just enjoying watching Killing go through this.
Whoops.
Whoops! Perfectly timed emote, but now I'm glad that Paladin has returned to its rightful place as the best deck in the meta game right now.
Yeah, never in
after
doubt.
winning that super close game. Sometimes Deck of Lunacy, you get a bunch of scrap shots. He lived with the Lever of Hope, but wasn't able to get there. So 1-0 killing all day.
And he was enjoying the start of this. He nodded so many times. Nodding all day.
Yeah, and the Kazakus actually worked out because he drew the Libram Judgment. And that Kazakus actually ended up being big, so even though it's blocked, like I mentioned earlier, even though sometimes you block it with your Libram reductions, it's still sick. Like, even if you have, like, on average, like, 3 turns where Kazakus is not active, sometimes it still can win you games, and that's how good it is. Whereas Carol Rome will never be that good.
Yeah, it's going to be a
like,
really ongoing discussion, right? Like, it's such a great card, but sometimes it's so garbage. Is that spike worth it, or is it worth just, settling for a good card?
Yeah. And it's kind of funny because Paladin in the past was known as the deck that had way too many 4-mana cards, right?
Yep.
Like, all of their power plays were at 4 mana.
True Silver, Consecration, Blessing of Kings.
Later on down the line, Equality.
Yeah.
And now they're fighting for which is the one 4-cost card that you play in your deck. which is just kind of funny. But you just saw, I believe, Language Hacker's Rogue deck. He's playing the Post Rogue, which it's an interesting one because he plays a Post Rogue, but he also plays Guardian Aug Merchant. So with full posts, which I haven't seen the Guardian Aug Merchant played as much, as often in like the full Post Rogue. killinallday going to move to his Spell Mage. He is still running the Ring Toss double Ice Barrier. This is a weird one. 1 Combustion, but double Ice Barrier, and 1 Ring Toss and 2 Flame Strikes. So it's greedy, but at the same time, a weird list to be greedy with. Because normally the decks that you're trying to play for greed with additional 7 drops with Ring Toss are like the more control-y style matchups. But those are the matchups where Ice Barrier is worse. Right. And Ice Barrier is really good in decks where Combustion would also be really good, and he's only playing 1, and 1 Brain Freeze. So, like, he's got the kind of anti-control package. You know what this spells to me? Killin is an all-in deck of Lunacy gamer. That's what it says to me.
And he lost 3-0 to Fled, which is even worse than Language Hacker did.
Yeah.
But Fled just destroyed them both. So, yeah. And they both brought double Ice Barrier. That's why it's sort of interesting to me. Because Fled did bring that fairly aggressive lineup.
Yeah. Well, like, the aggressive lineups nowadays could even, like, play around Ice Barrier to some extent. Like,
8's not a lot anymore, is it? You either do 50 or you don't now.
Yeah, or even like some of the more aggressive decks, like Paladin and like Face Hunter, can deal damage without hitting face because of pen flingers, right? Like Hunter, I've killed people from like 15 with an Ice Barrier up without ever attacking face because you're Tuntaranoing minions, piercing shotting minions. Nothing's attacking face, but you're still killing everything and dealing damage to face, and then pen flingers woven in. So.
Well, this might not look like much from Hacker, but there's a Jandis, and that's a lot against Mage.
Yep, certainly is, especially with a slow start from the Mage, which Killin has because he doesn't have any of the powerful 2-drops.
Shows how Hacker is valuing the value, though. He could have just played out the 1 Thief on 1. You hate to do it, but the way the curve looked, it was an option to just get a minion out, but it just vanishes in the flood of magey nonsense if you do it, so you kind of have to be greedy. And that's what he's doing.
I want to look for something more powerful. I want a Runed Orb and like try and get another chance for finding Lunacy or Incanter's Flow. Something cheap that deals damage. Shooting Star, I think, is probably pretty good. Flurry, pretty much anything cheap because his hand is so expensive right now. I like.
Yeah, he just needs to do something next turn because at the moment, you know, the Arcane Intellects don't. I mean, they don't really do that much. You might have to do it anyway to just look for better cards, but they don't really achieve anything. Next turn's going to be no fun at all. Probably burn the coin.
Wow. Field Conte just played onto the board.
I think the point being that Jandis is coming. So you want the board, clear the board up with your board, and then play a Jandis, and your Jandis just sits there being really, really big.
Yeah, I don't mind it from Language Hacker because he saw a Runed Orb. Killin runs a list with only 1 Brain Freeze and 1 Combustion. So if that lives, super high upside, right? Because then you get to like Pen Flinger, Swindle, you know, draw so much through your deck. So I like the hoping for the high upside play.
Job done.
Talking of high upside plays, Killin has now set up the Mana Worm, the Worm Weaver.
Yep.
And actually, Jandis doesn't reply to this very well, to be fair.
I believe it's pronounced Wyrm. It's the Wyrm Weaver.
Wyrm.
Yep.
I can't do your strange Americanisms. Wyrm. No, that can't be right.
No, just trust me. Have blind faith.
Sure. That'll end well.
Starting with an arcane intellect here, most likely. Nope, starting with a ping. All right. Forget what I said. Would have been the ultimate bait, though.
Guess is right, and now doesn't know what to do. It's like surprised himself. You never expect to get it right, do you? Ever.
Oh, wow. It was the weaker minion? Oh, my gosh. Who could have known?
You should play at my ranks. It's never the weaker minion in my rank games. Oh, my goodness. No one ever does the sensible play.
All right. Finally hits Incanter's Flow and was able to deal with Jandis somewhat cleanly, but still left a 4-5 on board. So I think we're in the territory of feeling okay, but still some work to do. Not like a celebrity tweet.
Good old Insta. Picture. Feeling okay, still some work to do. Going to the gym tomorrow.
Yep. Bunch of stupid emojis slopped all over it.
That sounds like one of my...
Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed, yeah. And then hashtag whatever sponsor.
Yeah. Deciding whether or not to chuck this 4 damage face and...
Interesting.
That one's tough. I think when in doubt face is a little bit outdated in this current meta. Maybe not
Protects your 3-3.
Ooh.
If you can protect your 3-3, it means the mage has got to throw something at the 3-3, which means you're taking less damage in your face, I guess. Yeah.
It's quiet.
Now needs some post.
Take the cheapest one to be able to dump it from your hand if you need, like, that's
yeah,
it.
what was that, though?
Ice Barrier, almost completely useless.
That's an upgrade. Probably.
Yeah. I like how Hacker expresses his frustration. It makes me happy. Not happy that he's frustrated, because I like Hacker, but I like that he expresses how he feels. Dumps it in the best way possible. By not freezing a Penflinger.
Oh, everything in this deck is free.
Oh my.
There's a third Incanter's Flow.
Let the incanters flow.
Okay, I don't even know how to evaluate the 3 Incanter's Flow into Deck of Lunacy. That means your 7 mana things were discounted 3 times and then brought back up to 7 mana.
Yeah. So what does that mean?
Wait, so everything's just back to its original cost?
I think you're breaking my brain. Yeah, let's go with that. That sounds great.
So many.
Can they? Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. So you get the same cards.
I don't think Killing All Days. You don't get. Well, you don't get the same card. You can get the same cards.
You get like a 4 mana Flame Strike is a possibility.
Yeah, unless it's just like some weird interaction where if you play 3 Incanter's Flow and then Deck of Lunacy, then the game just gives you back all your original cards, just discounted.
Because it should be impossible to have 3 Incanters Flows, yeah.
Yeah.
No one's ever going to play that Lunacy card. It's rubbish, apart from at low ranks.
All right, well, that Devolving Missiles cost -2 mana.
Mm-hmm.
Because spells can't have negative costs, because then if cost increases come out, like let's say if 2 Cult Neophytes were played that last turn, this Devolving Missiles would still cost 2. Or would still cost...
Or if imagine a world where Hacker actually drew a post to go with his 7 mana legendary guy. Cargill just postless at the moment.
Hate to be postless.
Yeah. Good.
I mean, we're starting to get to the point where lnguagehackr can start to piece together some damages.
He is, yeah.
I
Let's see if we can
got double
do a
pen
good
flinger. Wicked stab will be 6 damage starting next turn. We'll be able to put the enraged Mancrick in the deck.
Yeah. Obviously, if you drew that then with the secret passage, it would just be a card in your hand.
This is Discover Secrets, not Discover Mage Secrets. So going with some Rogue Secrets.
Okay, they still exist.
So he picked Dirty Tricks. Shadow Clone, because you don't want Plagiarize or Dirty Tricks because you'd rather have cards in your own deck. I think.
Did anything happen this turn? I feel like Killing starts on 18 and Hacker played a load of cards and Killing's still on 15.
Well, Language Hacker, he has the second Wicked Stab in his deck, right? He could realistically like Pen Flinger, Wicked Stab, Pen Flinger, Secret Passage, second lethal.
And he's on 9 mana, so what he was doing this turn was deliberately wasting a turn.
Yeah.
Not wasting,
All right.
like chilling. And now he's got the goods because he's 10 mana.
Yep. So he's got lethal from hand, unless Killing All Day is able to find something really interesting here. Even lethal through Ice Barrier, which is the only secret in the deck, so Language Hacker will know to play around that. He has to like kill him right now. Oh my gosh! There's no way he kills him, right?
Because nothing costs anything, does it? He could kill him. Oh my god, he's gonna kill him.
He's dead! He's literally dead!
None of these cards cost any mana, so he's just going to just point it all at the face.
Okay. Then Mask of Cthulhu Fireball! He's dead! Mask of Cthulhu is 10 damage to face, then Fireball is 7 damage to face.
He's just seen it, but has he got the time? Yeah, he's got there.
He needed to Fireball instead of a Pexus Blast, right?
He fonted, yeah, he fonted to look for spell damage because he didn't count it in time. He thought he needed more spell damage.
Did he have enough to do Mask plus double Fireball? Because Mask was 10 plus double Fireball was 14. He's out 24. Yeah, he had exact lethal. He was just dead.
I'm going with yes, just from his reaction, even not counting it. Yeah.
And now Killing's dead because it's just Wicked Stab.
Oh my. One apiece.
That's a tilter.
Yeah, you've got to get yourself together after that. And the worst thing is he's seen it.
Yeah,
sometimes you make a mistake, you throw, and you're like, okay, well, unlucky, I lost that game.
I mean,
when you see it, it bothers you.
He had 1 mana left. Okay, to think of this possibility, imagine a world in any other Hearthstone meta. You have 1 mana left. Your opponent's on 24, and you have lethal. Like that's what happened. He dealt 24 damage with 1 mana. Essentially, I mean, I'm using a little bit of tricksterism.
And you think you need more damage, so you play a font to look for spell damage, and then realize that's a mistake.
Yeah.
Somewhere along there.
Yeah, because he did have exactly 24, because he had 1 spell damage on board. He had enough mana to... There was a 1/1 on his opponent's side. He had Mask, which was 11 damage, so 10 damage to face, and then 2 fireballs, each dealing 7. So it's 14. So it's exactly 24. Right there. 24 health. Starts that turn with 24 health, and that was a mistake. It was the Apexis Blast, because it cost 2 mana.
Why would you ever spend 2 mana on a spell? So much.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he thought it was enough, but I mean, language.
No, he was looking for spell damage. I'm absolutely sure of it from that font. Because my brain was going if he as well.
He wouldn't have had enough mana because at that point he only had 5 mana left. So even if he finds spell damage, he hadn't played Primordial Studies. He had used the Primordial Studies buff on the 2/2. So he would have had to spend 1 mana on the lab partner, and then he would only have 4 mana left to be able to play Mask, which wouldn't have been anywhere close. I don't know. I just think maybe he didn't realize it or something. Those kinds of mistakes happen. Like, you never expect to have 24 damage.
Yeah, it's not something you're looking for, is it? You're like, oh yeah, I've got a mana. Yeah. Let's just do this 24. That's how I survive this game.
Yeah, But with 3 Incanters Flow played, you should be every time you draw a card, you should be thinking, is this lethal? Right?
And you draw a Spring Water, and it's like, yeah, absolutely, I have lethal now.
Yeah.
But you said it. You called it like before he drew the card. It's like this is going to be scary.
I mean, as soon as he hit Refreshing Spring Water, I was like, he's probably dead because he's going to hit more card draw because he hadn't even played a Cram Session yet. He had spell damage on board. Like that's how quick it is. I glanced at the deck tracker and I was like, I see 1, 2, 3 burn spells. He's dead. A lot harder in the heat of the moment. But now Language Hacker gets to turn to Control Warlock, a deck that's a lot harder to burst out of the game because they have so much like consistent over time healing because they have Spirit Jailer, Soul Shear, School Spirits, Lucky Soul Hoarder. All of those shuffle Soul Fragments in the deck. And on top of that, Tamsin Rome can give you additional zero-cost spells that could be the cards that you just generated Soul Fragments from to generate even more Soul Fragments.
Generate? Yeah. I'm good with that.
So then you could put even more Soul Fragments in the deck.
Carry or Rome as well. They're sisters, apparently. Just getting that one out there to keep Chad happy.
Cool.
When in Rome, do as the Romans do and all that.
They are cards in the game of Hearthstone.
Oh, you're another
Lore
soft
concerns me not. And Killing All Day is going to be playing Weapon Rogue. So the one thing that Language Hacker... Oh, he does have it. All right, Acidic Swamp Ooze. Well, he's mulliganing for one thing and one thing only. And that's Acidic Swamp Ooze. Maybe a couple 1-drops like Armor Vendor is probably pretty good. But this is going to be a tough one for Killen. So that loss in that last game actually is going to hurt him because having 3 chances to win with Weapon Rogue is what he needed going up against a lineup with some pretty good anti-aggro tools like Language Hackers with Control Warlock. I think the one thing he does have going for him is that now Weapon Rogues has some weapon redundancy, right? Double Swine Tusk Shank and double Self-Sharpening Sword means that even if one ooze comes down, you most likely still have another one. It wasn't put in there for that reason. It wasn't put in there for weapons because you need them against ooze. It's just for weapons because that's literally all the deck does. It barely plays any minions. You need weapons to win the game, so it's just to have that consistency of draw.
The problem is, though, you're saying there's redundancy in the weapons, but it's not really the weapons. It's all the buffs on the weapons. You blow those up with the ooze. The actual weapons themselves, they're who cares? Yeah. If you're blowing up the poisons, you're blowing up they're poisons. There's deadly poisons, the other one, which I think of as different for some reason. And so you're getting not just blowing up the weapon, but you're getting 2 or 3 for 1 for your ooze at the same time. Yeah. But he hasn't hit it.
It doesn't matter. Like, he's still got a very good start. Like, he's got Spirit Jailer and then double Ogremancer. Like, what are you supposed to do? I'm going to buff my weapon and then attack into a 2-2 every turn. Every turn you buff your weapon, you attack into a 2-2. That's his life.
This is it. This is who he is now.
Yeah.
Got the self-sharpening, though, so, you don't need to buff that. It's self-sharpening for a reason. It gets bigger without you buffing it.
Oh, Language Hacker's feeling this game right now.
Yeah, he's looking good. Yeah, we're not going to get to see much of what Warlock can do here, I think. It's just going to win.
Slowly, but it is going to win. I wonder if Killing All Day wants to... He's just being efficient. He's like, if you have the ooze, just ooze me now. Just get it over with. All right.
Interesting, though, that he chose not to attack with the self-sharpening this turn because there is cutting class and deadly poison, all that stuff going on in hand. So,
it's efficient damage, right?
I get it. I get it.
To squeeze out every point of damage that he possibly can. It's a shame, though.
Kind of a timer on him as well.
Yeah. It's a shame that next turn, Language Hacker's going to coin out an Ogremancer, and the game will end.
Wow.
Because in order for Killing All Day to kill an Ogremancer, he has to play spells.
Yep. Yeah. I'm trying to think of something funnier than It's All Ogre, but I just can't. And I'm really annoyed about it. Can you help out?
No, I can't. He's just gonna Ogremancer into Ogremancer, and Killen will be able to do nothing.
Yeah. I mean, he can do 2, 4, 5, 6, 15. Nope.
Yeah, I mean, he can go attack into Ogremancer, Penflinger, Wicked Stab. But then there's a 2/2 taunt that he has to play into next turn.
Another
So
Ogremancer.
much damage that he has to sink into this. Okay, so he did get Paralytic Poison. But the Paralytic Poisons are much better with the Swine Tusk Shank because they add the one attack and 1 durability.
Yeah.
Whereas in Self-Sharpening Sword, it just adds the 1 attack and makes you immune.
And your health total just doesn't matter in this matchup, obviously.
Yeah.
So he thinks he's done the job and, might be okay, but he's got some bad news coming his way. I suspect he will be most unimpressed with this.
Not you.
Yeah.
Oh, he's taken that well.
He hits and passes. Oh my gosh, he has to hit and pass. He has to float 6.
That is horrendous. That's all he's got. You said he's that's it. He's snooking. Oh no.
Killen kind of... Oh, nope, he didn't want this, because now his Ogremancer can't die. I was like, Killen is probably happy about this, because now he can Swine Tusk Shank, he can go Paralytic Poison.
Yeah, everything like you pointed out right at the start, like everything he does now to get big enough to kill the ogre just makes a 2/2 that protects the ogre. It's an oof, as the kids say.
If I'm Killen, I'm out of this one. I want to forget about this game forever.
The trouble is, he needs to play this one for a while so he can forget about the game before.
True. I guarantee you, though, he's not missing lethal in this game because he'll never be presented with one.
Yeah, this is just him like using the time to get his head in the right place for game 4. That's how I see this. Like, this is just him getting over the fact of the previous game still. So you might as well. I mean, maybe he's found a line, but I don't see a line here. Hacker's on 27. Like, it's not just killing the ogre man. So he's got to like. There's so much wrong with what's happening right now.
It's only 1. Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah, it's only a 5/5 and a 3/3.
It sets up for lethal, though.
Oh my. This was not a game. Hacker didn't even draw his ooze until turn 5, and he had it won by then anyway.
So, Killen's looking for second Wicked Stab or something. I don't know.
Yeah, wicked something. So he's got to not only kill the ogre now, he's got to kill the minions because he's dead to them.
Yeah.
It's not going well. However, he's found a way to stop the ogre making more minions because the board will be full.
Is he alive? No,
I don't think
he's not
so.
alive.
Not in this particular Hearthstone game.
Prize Plunder.
What are you doing?
There's no Shadow Steps in the deck.
There's the stab.
Found the Wicked
And
Stab.
it's still 10 up there.
Prep Swindle.
Swindle, prep, stab. And you're alive on... Yeah, just...
I mean, Killen. What's funny is that Killen only had 7 cards left in his deck. He played nearly every card in his deck. If he had Prep Swindled there, he would have been very close to playing literally every card in his deck because he would have drawn like Penflinger plus Silverleaf Poison. And he could have prepped out the Silverleaf Poison, draw another card. He would have had 3 cards left in his deck.
I mean, he got that far. He should have at least like finished the
Yeah, and
deal.
Language Hacker was at 27 at the end of that game, so and that's just a tough matchup, right? That's not indicative of how Weapon Rogue performs in the metagame. It's not meant for control Warlock matchup. It's meant to beat up on some of the slower decks or decks that need some setup time, like Mage.
Yeah. Yep, and there's so much tech against that in that deck, and you said you didn't like the Warlock, and I can sort of understand why after seeing that, even though it won easily. It's just a choice for a specific opponent. You don't know your groups, by the way. They're picked after your decks are built, so you pick for the whole meta. But they're just... His read was that this would be a popular deck, most likely, and he felt that this matchup would happen a lot. That's my only read on this.
Yeah.
And,
Possible.
you know, can't argue with the result there, to be fair. That did its job. But now it's got to do this job, which is much harder. Mage struggles mightily in this matchup. And I'm not even sure the right way to approach it as the Mage, honestly. Like, if you try and race them... now you've got a Lunacy, you can try and race them. Now it's easier. Or more clear, should I say.
Oh, yeah. Coin it out. Killing all day. This is one of the decks that cares very little for deck of Lunacy. It ignores practically everything.
Yep. Yeah, you don't... There's either there aren't any or you don't get them very easy. You don't end up with taunts as the Mage in this matchup, basically ever.
Yeah.
So it makes it so hard to have a sensible game plan.
Deck doesn't play many minions. Which Hacker could, if he hits like Lab Partner here, he could just race.
Yeah, get a couple of minions down and it becomes
Oh
interesting.
my gosh. You got 20 damage in hand.
And he's got more than 1 mana. Does that mean he's fine? Because I remember a minute ago somebody had 1 mana and they did 24 damage.
Yep. Well, he didn't deal 24 damage. He had the ability to deal 24 damage. He actually only dealt 23.
He did 24 in my heart, TJ.
Yeah. Going with the self-sharpening sword here because he doesn't have any ways to buff the Swine Tusk Shank just yet. Oh my gosh, that's a ring toss. It's a ring toss and it gets corrupted by a 2-mana spell. It's insane.
Yeah, if he can gain 8 here.
Which is very likely.
And
because there are only
something as well.
There's only 5 Mage Secrets, right? So it would have to.
Yeah.
You'd have to get out of the way. There's Mirror Entity, Oasis Ally, Netherwind Portal, Ice Barrier, Rigged Fair Game. He didn't hit it?
You can't.
Okay. Oh no,
He's missed twice. Can you ever get them to trigger your Oasis Ally? Like, if you can get a taunt up of any size and get them to trigger it once, you just can't lose.
Barricade in your deck, getting a Jandas with a top minion, like...
So you take the ally then, right? And then if they have to attack into your taunt, you hit them
Netherwind
with
Portal Ally? Yeah, you take Netherwind Portal Ally.
Yeah. Yeah. And hope they have to attack into it at some point because you're winning the race, and then they can never attack again.
Oh, that's smart, actually. Yeah, because now, I mean, like, you just mask next turn, push 14 because he's not attacking your minion. And the next turn you have another 10. Yeah.
This race is ridiculous. He's counting exacties, isn't he? Like, sometimes in Hearthstone, not very often, but you have to count the exact number sometimes. And that's what Hacker's doing right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I just want to mask here.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Another thing I can think of would be to like Ruined Orb and Canter's Flow to set up for this sprint.
By my calculations, you
He thinks he's got 2 turns. probably right.
Yeah, well, he definitely has 2 turns. So I guess the minion makes sense because Killen's not going to kill the minions, but like a prize plunder, like 3 cards is not crazy to think of in a turn. So like he gave up a whole turn, so if that minion sticks, then he has a 2-turn clock. I guess he has a 2-turn clock no matter what. Next turn, if no minion is played, he just masks, pushes 4 again, and then if his minion sticks again, then he can fireball and push the 4 for 24 damage over 2 turns. That's assuming the 3/3 dies, which not even guaranteed. But I guess Silverleaf Poison, attack, and then Cold Neophyte and Prize Plunder the 3/3.
Just about whether you can actually win this race, which you should, I think. Neophyte seems late, but he's got to play something, so he might as well use his mana. Also damage coming back the other way. It's 5 coming back the other way now. I mean, it's not because, you know, Mask is dumb.
lnguagehackr does have lethal set up next turn. Rune Door Fireball's 8 plus 4 on board. I don't think Killen is attacking into this, so it might be game.
Trying to work out if there's stab, passage, something here.
Yeah,
I don't think there is.
We know that killinallday needs to end this turn by using Prize Plunder on the Zyrella.
Yes.
But can
He might assume he's dead anyway.
Oh, whoa, that's actually insane.
And now he has a 2-turn clock, I think. 6.
Choose soon.
I want a Wand Thief Brain Freeze. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. He's putting in a stab because he
Wicked stab
himself. Yeah. Because he hasn't actually got lethal himself going back. Oh my goodness. Does it come down to this? To Skull? He hasn't got many out.
All right. Oh,
double out.
Outcasted Skull. Oh, Mask of Cthulhu. Survival the fittest. Oh, that's pretty good. All right, just... Yep, that's a Tidal Wave, which will gain him 6. And that's a 1 mana Mask of Cthulhu. 1 mana, deal 10 damage.
He gives himself the sarcastic clap, which I've never seen before. I've seen him sarcastic clap his opponents many times. But he actually gives himself the sarcastic clap for that play.
Now Killen has to hope that in these Deck of Lunacy cards and the cards that lnguagehackr had before the Deck of Lunacy was played, that there's not a single point of damage. But, spoiler alert, Neil, if you've been closing your eyes for the past 15 minutes.
I'm behind the sofa. Looking through the cracks in my fingers.
There's a lot of damage in his hand.
Yeah, he's played as if he's
dead.
got a lot of damage in his hand, even without looking at his hand.
Yep, killinallday is, in fact, quite dead.
Hacker's pumped up for this as well. In fact, I will give them their due. A lot of the people today have been like really up for these games. I've enjoyed the levels of commitment today from the Americas region.
Yep.
And Hacker goes through to the quarterfinals, where I believe he will meet Dreadeye.
Yeah, nicely done. He was, I'll say, gifted one of the wins there because killinallday did have that one game where miscounted the damage that he had on board. An absolutely insane turn, like, you know, no business even being in that spot in the first place with 3 Cantersfield played and lethal from like 1 mana. But it felt like the Hearthstone gods were punishing Killen for that because they throw him a Control Warlock game with the double Ogremancer, and then they throw him a Weapon Rogue game where it actually looks like he's doing well, but then out of nowhere, just a title surge and Mask of Cthulhu. That's all it took for Language Hacker to get across the finish line. So
there was that
nicely
interesting
navigated.
thing there where he got the 2 worst secrets for the job, but because they're the exact 2 worst secrets, they actually worked really well together.
Yeah.
So that Killing could never remove the minion